What is going on, everybody? I am back. Today I wanted to talk about Venice token, VVV, Venice AI. We all know it, we all love it. I wanted to get back at it and talk about what's been going on a little bit. I added small to my position in that last pullback around 87 or $8.07. What has been going on with Venice recently? I mean, for me, it's impressive to see that every single day they have an update with something new that either launched on Venice. Even as April 27th here, you could see Venice is increasing programmatic VVV burns. Each new pro subscription now burns $2 in VVV, up from $1. New Pro Plus and Max subscriptions also trigger programmatic burns at $5 and $10 in VVV respectively. There's something new every single day. They're fully taking advantage of bullish momentum, which for me, shows that Eric Voorhees and team are invested. They are playing the market very smart. All things you want to see. For me, you don't want to see things happen at bottoms. That's how things end up dying off. That's how retail loses interest. That's how people who don't necessarily follow crypto or have the insight that others have as far as trends, trading, and insights go. That's how they lose trust. That's how they lose interest. For me, I know that AI is currently the meta, in my opinion, as far as high cap goes. I know low cap, mid, there's always different trends and metas. But as far as high cap goes, I think that AI right now and for the next few years is going to be the meta. Hopefully, for my portfolio's sake, the meta going into the next super cycle is also AI. That would be very, very coincidental, and I hate to say that I'm hoping for it, but my bags are hoping that the next super cycle, kind of follows respectively into AI. But we're sitting at $9.10 right now currently. We pumped last night after dropping down to a worrying level at 8:30. That's kind of where a lot of shorts had piled in, and the squeeze kind of liquidated a bunch of shorts, and that's why we're seeing a new level being held right now. Of course, 895 looking like the short term support level, and then after that, I think our resistance is sitting at about $10. Yeah, so the next level, and I think this is going to be an easy level to reach off the new momentum, is going to be around $10. You can see, I mean, this isn't much. It's 13.5 votes, but 80% bullish on community sentiment. Again, that's just people clicking a button when they see a toggle for bullish or bearish, and most people are going to pick bullish regardless of what it is, unless it's something that's rugging like rave or I think time went berserk. I missed the run. I was looking at time at $2.50, and I'm like, man, this looks kind of enticing. Limit only market on Coinbase, and nobody was selling at $2.50. It was just very slow accumulation, and I'm like, ooh, that looks enticing. I'm kind of, bam. Literally at the drop of a button, time went from $2.50 to $7 freaking dollars over 16 hours, and I'm sitting there just like, damn. So I missed that one. And I've just kept a close eye on things, and nothing's speaking to me like that right now. But Venice AI is still very bullish for me, and I'm looking into the short-term future as far as Venice token. What are the levels I'm going to sell at? What are the levels I'm going to buy at? I added to my position recently at 8.7. But where am I looking to sell? Particularly for my bag, I've said $1 billion as far as where I think it's headed, and I absolutely believe that Venice token can hit $1 billion market cap. But as far as short-term trading goes, if I'm going to play the market, I like Venice token at $500 million market cap, and at $10 for me is one of those ranges where I think once it gets broken, it's going to supersede that. It's going to look for another price to settle down at, and I think once we hit the top of that next channel, I'm going to try to sell again. I can't always be certain that I'm going to be able to sell at the next high because I'm no trading super guru. I'm not going to know when the next top is in. But I do think after $10, it's going to have a little bit of a run. I'm not just going to throw a random number out there and say, oh, I think it's going to $12 and this, because I'm not too sure. I think after $10, I'm going to hold it for another day, 2 days, and then I'm going to look to slowly exit for another reaccumulation. I like VVV, and I'm not going to just abandon it. I'm going to try and time the market, so whenever I think the next top is in, I'm going to cut a little bit of my bag. I'm going to trim out, and then I'm going to send back in at some point whenever the volume's cooled off a little bit, because I do think VVV is headed towards $1 billion market cap. I don't think that the next pump is just going, after it breaks $10, it's just going to send to $1 billion. I don't think that's what's going to happen. What I think is going to happen is it's going to find another accumulation phase after passing $10. I think it's going to go up, it's going to hit a point, and then it's going to drop back down under $10. So once it hits again, I think I would re-add after the next pump around these levels, considering market sentiment, considering short levels, considering long levels. Futures have a lot to do with how I trade, just based on that's, again, so the pump that we saw was through a short level. So futures and shorts kind of stacked around the $8.50 to $9 range, and that's why we saw such a rapid incline. And I think once those levels reaccumulate, once we hit a top, that's when I'm going to look to re-add. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all that. I'll be back to you guys soon. We'll see what goes on. Good luck out there. Have a great day. Enjoy